Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy, JusJrdn, here with a very special guest, Landon A. Coleman. I'm super excited with this one. Musician, kind of in the pop, adult, contemporary field, music therapist, I believe, correct?
That's right.
Music therapist, father, husband. This man does it all, it seems. I'm super excited. Just released a project a little while ago called Like Losing a Fight EP. We'll kind of dive right into this. This is A Moment with Jay.
I just wanted to hop on the mic and say, I know the world been a little chaotic and everything. I just wanted to check and make sure everything good in the hood, like sure, you know what I mean? Say out of the fam. Okay, let's get to work. What up?
You know what, bro?
So what,
that one wasn't bad. That one wasn't bad.
Nailed it, dude. Nailed it.
All right, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. So I want to start with a question for you.
Oh, please.
Okay, it's long form though. Okay, you ready?
Okay. This is podcasting.
Okay, so this morning I get up. I get up a little bit early. I I say a prayer, make some coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Baby's up. Go get the baby. Change a diaper. Make bagels and eggs for my other children. It's a snow day here in Ottawa. I live in Ottawa. It's a snow day, so the kids are at home. It's not the day that I go to work, so I'm here. So, after breakfast, we get the kitchen cleaned up. I help my son with piano practice. And then we read a chapter, 2 chapters of Harry Potter, which we're reading together. So we do.
Oh, 1 second. I think we lost you a little bit.
Cookies.
Wait,
hold up. Applesauce.
Hold up. We lost you at...
did I break up there?
Yeah, we lost you at... Don't worry. We lost you at Harry Potter. You're reading the book of Harry Potter.
Okay, so yeah. So we're reading... So I read a few chapters of Harry Potter with my kids. And then they go outside to play, and I make cookies and applesauce. They come in, I feed them snack.
Okay.
And then I make them lunch. So then we eat lunch. Oh, and while they're outside, I have my baby daughter, and so I'm working on a song. So I spent 15 minutes working on this song while she's in my lap. We eat lunch, and then now we're here. Make myself a cup of tea. We're here. So here's the question that I have for you, Jay.
Okay.
I'm a normal dude.
Yep.
Jay.
Yep.
Why do you want to talk to me on camera? I'm happy to talk to you. I think your music's great. I just have the most normal life in the world. You picked Greg from Omaha or something. Like, it's just like, I make music for sure, but I just mean, apart from the music thing, it is like absolutely regular, the most normal.
Bro, you know what? Great question. And I love the way you led up, because I was like, where could this possibly be going? I was so enticed. There's a couple reasons why I wanted to have this chat with you. And, I
miss you.
I miss you too, bro. And that's what's cool about the podcast as well, is it's just an excuse for me. So a little background, I guess, on us before I answer your question is we met online to the Canadian Music Incubator program, the Artist Entrepreneur program, and for everyone listening. Yeah. And so that was a couple years ago now, I think.
Yeah. And almost 2 years ago, I think.
And, we took that 8-week program or whatever it was. And, we just kind of message on Instagram every once in a while. But, and when we did get some chances to talk in the program, I always enjoyed our chats. There's something about your vibe and your energy that's always a good time. And then the biggest reason, and this is... I'm bad for hyping people up, but that's why I made the podcast, is because I get to bring on the people that I want to bring on, And bro, you may have a limited discography, you don't have a whole ton of music out, but you have honestly some of my favorite music ever. You know, even the original song "Come to Me," the original version, and there's the album version. We'll get to all of that. That version of the I love that song. You make
thanks, dude.
And dog, and like Losing a Fight, the EP, bro. I was listening to that. I mean, I was basically live posting on Instagram while I was listening to that.
Yeah, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks.
I listened to a lot of music, as I'm sure you do as well, you know, and I listened to I really like to hear kind of what's new, what's groovy. You know, the last album I listened to is the new album Lil Wayne and 2 Chainz just put out.
I heard it. Cool.
Super awesome project. But honestly, so I, you know, especially with my daily routine, I try to get at least one new music project in and listen to the full thing 5 days a week. So at least I'm consuming 5 new pieces of
amazing
of music every week, you know, and full projects. I'm a project person. I like singles and everything, but it's like, you know, I like a full.
You want to know a person's whole deal, right?
Exactly. And dog, when I was listening to like Losing a Fight, oh my God, bro. The production on it, the vocal performance on it, the vocal melodies were the things that I won't say most excited about, but it's just another thing on top of it. Even like things like the swagger kind of melancholiness of when you find your heart is broken, like the swagger, it got me right away. I was like, okay, I'm it. Like, there's so much about this project that I was excited about. You know, I think I've listened to the thing in its entirety, this 5 tracks. I think in full 4 times since I've heard it just a couple weeks ago or whatever. So I'm a huge fan of your art, if you couldn't tell, bro, you know, like you just make a style of music that's not made by a lot of people, you know. It's not like adult I mean, Jay-Z and Beyonce dropped an adult contemporary album that one time as well, but you know, it's super heavy leaning towards hip hop and R&B. I was like, okay, I guess we can call it that. So there's just that. And then, you know, I think there's so much about, I like how you downplay, you know, that you're just this average dude, but you know, I think there's a lot about you that's cool. You know, you're raising a family, you're very musically inclined to music therapy, you're a dad, you know, you're a husband. There's a lot about you that's very different from me, you know. And
I was playing your music this morning, and my wife's like, oh yeah, I see the crossover between your music and his. I'm like, really? She's like, no. but actually your new single, that Dark Sky. So good, right? And I love it. And it's got the that cool kind of 70s keyboard at the beginning. It's like slightly circusy, but mostly like a Rhodes, you know, or whatever, some whirly or something like that. Anyways, love it. I love how melodic it is, and it's got a slight 70s vibe to it, which is, like, as you know, kind of my deal, right?
Oh, thanks, bro. Sheesh. Yeah, I really like that current song. You know, I dropped the song Sending Positive Vibes, and that song is the last song. I'm putting out 2 projects, Olympus and Olympus 2, and it's coming out on vinyl in 2024 finally. And the last track of Olympus, the first one, is Setting Positive Vibes, and it ends on this like big, bright, you know, there's choirs and organs, you know, it's a big, beautiful track. And then, you know, this is the introduction to the next project, which is Dark Sky, you know, and it's just like, oh, you listen.
Flip side.
Exactly, you know, and it just to kind of start to introduce the next kind of sonic scape that I'm trying to explore in the next project. So that means a lot,
Yeah.
bro. So yeah, I got so many things that I want to talk to you about, even in regards. But like, how's life? I see that you're gigging now. I see that you're picking up. You're doing shows. Usually some cool, and that's what's so dope about you, bro. You got horn players. You got live musicians. Like, bro, if I was in your city, I'd be at every one of your shows. You know?
Yeah. So yeah, it's been good. Life is overwhelming, but that's fine. I like texted a friend, like, I'm feeling a little overwhelmed these days, and he goes, "What's going on?" I'm like, it's just that's status quo, man. It's just like 4 kids. I don't know. It's a lot of kids.
Damn, you have like 4 kids?
Yeah, I got 4 kids.
Oh my god.
It's good though. Yeah, like 2 more. Is that 2 more than Flanders?
Yes, bro.
Anyway.
Yes, bro. Oh my god. So how you?
Yeah.
So how do you
become the master? So I like fit in the music stuff kind of in the evenings, and then I squeeze it in like on my commute. I like when I work at the children's hospital here.
Correct.
As a music therapist, and so I have like, you know, like, I don't know, what is 6 hours a week of time to kind of chip away at songs.
Oh, cool.
And yeah, but like gigs have been interesting. After COVID, it was super easy. I got this big band together. So like right after you and I met, I just started calling everyone I knew, people I had kind of half-baked connections to. And I was like, I'm putting a band together. So I got like, there was 10 of us, the percussionists, horns, guitar, super fun.
Did you say 10?
Yeah.
Holy fuck. Okay. Exciting.
Yeah, so we did like, I think I did like maybe 5 or 6 shows with that big of a group. And it was like it was fine. Everyone was not busy right after COVID, so it was easy. Anyway, as like things got back more normal, it became so hard to get everyone together. So, and then not only that, but I don't know what you find, like, I don't know what your process is when you play live in terms of rehearsals and whatever else, but like I toured a bit when I was younger, and I found that after like 2 weeks, even like 5 nights, you dial your set in, and it becomes it's more of a tool. You stop being nervous about it. You stop worrying about it. It's just like you can figure out what works with the audience. You can use it to connect with people in like a really kind of easy way. And it's hard to do if you're doing each show on its own. Like, as in to get that familiar with the set. On the one hand, I've had shows where we're playing the set for the first time, you know, like as in we've never played these songs together, and it's just like everything lights up. It's 100%. But it's hard to get that every night.
Of course.
If you don't. Yeah. So this fall I focused on whittling down the band. We got a small ensemble. It's 4 of us now.
Cool. And what are the pieces?
It's just piano, electric, and a background vocalist, and then me on guitar.
Oh wow! Oh, very cool.
Yeah, so it's just small, but we played a little tour around Ottawa. We did house shows, so we did 4 in a row, like friends of friends, basically 4 in a row, and then we did 3 live streams right after that. So we played basically the set 7 times within like. It's basically like, how can I fake a tour without actually having to leave?
That's very cool though, bro.
So, yeah. So we played our first show after having done that. We played our first show out like at a club last week, and it was exactly what I was hoping it would be. Like the set was so freaking simple. We just like went in there, knew exactly what we were doing, and it was great. So yeah, I was like chipping away at it. Everything's slow in my world, but so it'll be like another, 5 months till the next 5 songs comes out, and we've been working on all those for 2 years, whatever. So everything's slow in my world, but I'm not anxious about it, and I'm like just trying to be as chill as possible.
Very cool, bro. See, and it's so interesting to hear about even your performance thing, being a hip hop artist primarily, it's like, sometimes I get the opportunity, especially if it's a larger budget show, to bring out a full band. Cause even, I think that's one thing I think that separates me from most other rappers, you know, quote unquote rappers, is that I know how to play instruments. So it's like, you know, I can organize bands, and I usually
Yeah,
have to
yeah.
have a few smarter musicians to help me, but
Yeah, yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I can
Yeah,
at least.
me too, man. No, no, everyone. Yeah, yeah.
So it's like, you know, at least.
You're the dumb vocalist. No
Yeah,
offense, but like that's the role we got to play. It's like
damn right.
I write out charts and stuff, and then I give them the musicians, and they're like, no, you poor singer.
I get it though, bro. I get it.
Yeah.
And so it's super, especially because you know, you incorporate, and that's why I have such a deep attachment to your music, is because you have a lot of the elements that I just love. You throw in so many horns. There's so many sick string parts. You know, there's so many. Your music is really is super dope. So my understanding is that you have this EP, and then you're dropping a second EP, same title.
Yeah.
Or how's that working?
Yeah. So it's like it was basically the same batch of songs, and we decided to split it up so that we'd have a little more time to work on 5 of them.
Cool.
And so they all came. Yeah, we just working on them since you and I started talking, I guess, for 2 years. So yeah, 5 songs coming out. So they still have to get mixed and mastered. There's like a few extra tracks to do, but probably March. Like it was going to be end of February, but it'll likely be March. And then
sick.
Yeah, and then after that, I think actually it's going to be like the least. I think I'm going to stick with the structure for the next several years of just like put out an EP a year. An EP a year is not a lot, but it's like enough to kind of, I don't know. It's basically what I can afford in terms of both time and money.
Of course. That's a cool strategy. 5 tracks a year is actually quite a bit, I feel like.
I mean, if someone's like, if you're on a contract or something and someone's giving you studio time and mixing and mastering it for you, whatever, it's fun, one thing. But like, yeah, it's not cheap to mix and master. By the way, everything sounds really good.
Hey.
What do you do? You mix?
Sometimes. So
Sometimes.
So this is always one thing that's so funny about myself is I'm always posting on Instagram. I'm always doing everything, but no one really knows anything that I do all the time. Like, you know, it's like, so sometimes with the music stuff, I'll write, mix, record, produce, mix and master. I'll do it all, you know.
Yeah.
I don't typically like to do that. You know, I always think it's best to send out the more people I can get to help me, the best. But it's obviously, if I can do it all myself, that's the cheapest version.
Sure. Fine.
And a lot of the tracks are kind of written and co-produced between me and my other homie Andrew Menzak. This last song, Dark Sky, and Sending Positive Vibes, actually both produced by Andrew, and then I recorded and wrote all of it. He mixed it, I mastered it. So, and then everything kind of in between. My project Olympus, for instance, there was I mixed some, my homie mixed some, we got some other people to mix some, and then they were all mastered by the same person.
Yeah, there you go. Great. Yeah. I love that about hip hop, is that like you can't, like, who is a lone wolf in that world? Like no one. Like it's all collaborative, right?
Yeah.
Whereas in my world, like, I don't know, there's like, it's very kind of legendary if you're a guy who can do it all, right? Like, I don't know, Sufjan Stevens or these kinds of guys, they just play all the instruments, they record everything, whatever. Or Andy Schaaf is a big one, right? He's like from Regina, he does that. And it's cool and everything, but like, to be honest, like my eyes were opened up the moment I started collaborating with the guy who I work with all the time now, who's the guy who plays piano. Just like, it is so empowering to have someone who believes in the project, and then also to like have your edges chipped off a bit, or to fight for what you really want, to have to figure out what you want to fight for in a song. Yes. Like if the other guy's like, no, I don't really like that thing. You're like, no, that thing is, I'm not moving that thing. You know, that is so like, it actually sharpens your focus a bit. And I've like loved collaborating so
Oh,
much the last couple of years. Yeah.
that's so cool. Cause okay, so let's get into your project. Let's fuck it. I want to geek out with your project a little bit
Yeah. Okay.
because
Sure. Yeah. Good.
again, bro, I can't. Yeah, and I'll even. I know you won't be able to see it, but I'm going to pull up a picture of your EP. I know you won't be able to see it because we're on Zoom. So
That's
it's
fine.
like
That's good. Yeah.
the Zoom is being like recorded on my other program. So,
Yeah.
so there might be things that you'll see if you do watch the podcast later that
Cool.
you didn't see now. So this project is super cool and it sounds super collaborative because there's so much instrumentation going on throughout the entire project, you know, and it's,
Yeah.
I was like, you know, as someone who does produce, I was like, this is very well made. And from every level, you know, it's like, even from like, you know, the vocal melodies to the songwriting. April Snow, I love the songwriting in that one. Just the title of that one is unreal. And then there's so many things I want to touch on with this project. But
can I tell you a story about the first one, about the Come to Me, the album version, or both of them, the Come to Me? So my favorite, so the genesis of the collaborative thing and like the weird instrumentation and stuff was like, I was like, I wonder who I could get to help me with this stuff. I basically had started writing and I had this period of, I think maybe I told you about this back in the day, but like in 2019, I spent 3 months without like doing a media fast, basically. So it's 3 months, no shows, no movies, no social media, no music except for like classical music. And then it was also like, so it was with a group of guys. It was like a fad diet sort of thing, kind of. Anyways, whatever.
but good. So you did it for 3 months.
So it's 3 months, yeah. And like I'm like I listen to CBC News all the time in the car. I'm so then to not have anything on in the car was really hard for me. But after like 3 weeks of getting angrier and angrier, it was probably like actually more like 5 or 6 weeks where I was just grumpy all the time. And then like something snapped and the creative floodgates sort of like opened. And just like, I just was like, it was easy for me to work on stuff. And I hadn't really even been thinking about writing that much, but like songs just came to me. So that was the first one to come, was this song called Come to Me. It's easy, that song.
I love that song. Love that song.
Yeah, thanks. So like creative and like spiritual renewal too. It was also, you know, like, it felt like I've been blocking sort of putting up walls between myself and the people around me, between myself and kind of God. So to have a lot of that stuff stripped away, like I'm not going to numb out. I wasn't drinking at that point either. Like it was 3 months of no. Yeah. So nothing to really numb myself. And then, so yeah, what I got from that was like 6 weeks of grumpiness, and then like, and then a lot of joy and like serenity and creativity, which is a beautiful thing.
Wow.
So then I started working with a few people here in Ottawa, and then I was like, I should record this stuff. And so I sent emails out to, I think like 7 or 8 people, and a bunch of them didn't get back to me, maybe more than that. Some of them got back to me, and I was just like, I'll write out a chart for this, and I'll just see what people want to do with it. What if they want to contribute to it? Like I send them a demo, and then the chart, and I said like, I trust you, you know, like if you want to do something with this, you're welcome to. It was during the pandemic, so people didn't have that much on the. Actually, it was right before the pandemic. Anyway, whatever. Okay. The best was this guy called Doug Tielli. This is a guy whose brother was in a band called the Rheostatics. The Rheostatics toured with the Tragically Hip all the time.
Oh, shit.
So Rheostatics were like sort of this underground cult pop rock group. So I loved this one guy in the band called Martin Tielli. He's like creative genius, tortured kind of guy. Okay. Anyway, I knew that his brother had a side project, and I had heard one of the songs that this guy Doug Tielli did, and you can look it up. It's called, damn it. We'll put a link for it. Anyways, this song has all these crazy horns in it. And I was like, I wonder if that guy is busy right now. So cold call, sent him an email on Bandcamp, and then he spent like a full day and recorded 18 trombone and tuba tracks, all sorts of crazy stuff. So we used like most of it, not all of it, most of it, but the horns on that are from him. And like some of it is like, if you listen to the verse right after the bridge in that song, there's like a trombone line that's going like, anyways, you can't think of that unless you're the kind of person that is just like oozing with creativity. When we got the tracks, we were like, this is insane. This is crazy stuff. So anyway, yeah. So basically once that happened, it was sort of like, okay, this is like, if musicians love playing music. So if I've got this song that's good enough and I have some sort of connection to them, or even if I don't, they might want to couple with this project. So we didn't like open the floodgates or anything, but like,
wow,
we got someone that I don't know that well. Like Pat knows this person, but someone in Scotland to play flute on April Snow.
We got. I love the flute, bro. I love the flute.
Yeah, we got a friend that I hadn't seen in 10 years in New York to play some like pump organ stuff on Come to Me. We got like it was all sorts of. Wow. It was a really cool project. I don't know if I'll be able to recreate it with other songs. We kind of have some people that really kind of stepped up to the plate on that, and then I think we'll just use them and maybe add in a few unpredictable things in the future. But wow. It was a great experience. It was super hard because it's like I didn't have very much money for that project. So it's sort of like put it in their lap, see if anything comes out of it. Yeah. In 2 months, remind them, see if they still want to do it. Yeah. You know, yeah. One guy was like, oh, actually, you probably know this guy, but there's like an Edmonton sax player who's so good, Fred Mack.
Oh, I don't know that guy? I know who that is. No.
Oh, anyway, whatever. He played on the project and he was like bored during the pandemic. He's like, I'll do it. And then like stuff started to pick up for him and he like still didn't do it. And he's like, listen, man, just pay me a little bit of money and then I'll put it at the top of my list. Just a little bit. And I'm like, all right, that's fair. That's fair. I'll give you a little bit of money.
Some of those musicians just need a little bit of incentive.
That's right. I fully condone paying full price for all musicians, but it was fun.
Wow.
The background vocalists are these gals from Toronto. Super creative also. Same sort of thing. Send them the tracks and they would come out with this like magical, crazy stuff that changed the whole song, you know? Beautiful.
Yeah. So, because there's so many layers to everything, especially the background vocals. That was one thing that really stood out to me. I liked the first track where you got the background vocals. Like, bro, I was like, this is so. There's so many parts to the whole album, and even when I listened to it again this morning, just because I wanted it fresh in my head again. And there was there's even too many. There's too many ear candy, beautiful little some of the key parts, but
it's great.
And so this is one thing as someone else who makes music and I think it's super interesting. So how does a song come to be for you? So you do you typically start with the lyrics? How do you get the demo done? Like how does that typically start rolling with you?
Yeah. Usually the way it works is that a melodic idea comes out usually, and then often it's paired with like a phrase, like something I've written down at some point, or something that just comes to me that fits with that. So usually the way it works is that like I come up with a chorus and a verse, and then I sit on it for a long time. But then it's hard to push out the rest, right? But not always, but often. Sometimes it just comes to you. I don't know. The thing that I always think, and like I'm kind of interested in that songwriting world, but the songwriting world is. I was reading about this. I was reading about this big songwriter that did stuff in the 70s, and he said like he would sit down in a room as soon as he had an idea for a song. He would lock the door to whatever room he was in and say like, I'm not coming out until it's done. Damn. And like that is actually kind of the way that these songwriters work, like at the songwriting camps and stuff, where people kind of produce this stuff, is basically you got to get it that day or within that session, or make some progress on it. Anyway, because I generally write by myself, I get as much as I can get done in the time that I have, but then I spend weeks. Like the one I'm working on right now, I spend weeks tweaking the melody and maybe it's tweaking the melody or trying to figure out where it should go. So I'm thinking with like Come to Me, that was certainly over the course of a week or a week and a half, every day working on it, just for a little bit of time. But like, I don't know, I feel like sleep is an important part in the creative process. So I don't know. Yeah,
that's very cool. So do you have like an instrument of choice that you usually are writing with, like piano, guitar, or does it depend on the track?
Yeah, it sort of depends. I'd say the majority are either piano or a cappella, though.
A cappella, you're writing.
Well, I love the idea of a hummable tune. That's sort of, yeah, because I mean, like the thing is, Taylor Swift songs are hummable in their own way, but it's not like you're gonna whistle them. You're not gonna be like. It's like 2 notes or 3 notes, right? It's like rhythmically, she's got rhythmic hooks, but like melodically, they're interesting and they're like little hooks, but there's not like it's not like hi ho, it's off to work we go, which is like a very very hummable tune, right? Like you can, yeah. So I'm not trying to write like hi ho exactly, but in my mind, that's the ideal. Is like are all these like beautiful little hummable tunes? When You Wish Upon a Star, or like Somewhere Over the Rainbow, or like these other, anyways, or even like Sweet Caroline. Are these hummable songs? Are they all done? Can we like, is it that age is over maybe, but like,
and I would,
to my mind, I think there's such a perfection in a lot of those songs that it drives me. That's like part of what drives me, is that like the perfection of like having written a song. Those guys in the 50s, late 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, they were chasing something, and it was like they were doing a classical music what pop singers are doing to their music now. So classical music is like a lot of melodies, like there's some melodic motifs that they kind of go over, but like the melody just keeps going and going and going, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to engage with it, you got to like fully engage. You got to listen really hard. And then these like guys from Broadway shows and the pop writers in the 40s and 50s, whatever. This is my understanding of it. They took it and they like basically took a little bite-sized chunk of that. They took a little melody, a melody that takes like 20 seconds or 30 seconds. And they said like, we're just going to make a whole song that's just this. So it's a bit of that classical music. And then now it's like, we're going to take 1 second of that and make that the hit. And I'm not saying it's worse. Like the thing is, if you are able to pick out like a hook that actually works from that song and like make that into something people want to listen to, that's an amazing skill. Taylor Swift is a genius, right? Like it's amazing. But I love those like 20 second, 30 second melodies. I don't always nail it, but like to me, that's always a guiding light. So that's why I write a cappella a lot of the time. Not all the time, but a cappella, and then piano I like playing. Very
cool. And that explain, and this is why these conversations are so interesting, at least for me, because like the vocal melodies that you have on all of the songs, every single one of them, I think are almost instantly memorable. Like, you might not know the lyrics, but it's like, nah, 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 nah. Like, it's like, bro, it's in my head as soon as you're done listening. So that's so interesting that the way that you strive to write song, like, that's such a very interesting perspective. My whole idea with creating songs and why I'm always creating is I'm just trying to get better, learn another thing. It's like, even some of the songs that come out aren't necessarily even my best songs. They're just something I want to show. It's like, whoa, look at this huge, left-hand turn I took here just for shits and giggles, because I was like, fuck it, I just wanted to do something crazy. Now listen to it.
Because you live in Alberta and the roads are huge, and you can. The roads are like they're 3 times as big. I grew up in Edmonton, that.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
Yeah. Hey, so tell me about your process then. What do? You start with a beat? You start with words? You start with words.
So that's the thing too, is I I will make music kind of any way that you can make music, you know, like sometimes I'll have an a cappella, like I'll have a kind of like maybe a sentence that I always am writing, you know, just stupid sentences, or even like a clever rhyme that I've never heard, you know, just something. I got a bunch of things on my phone. But there's always just some sort of inspiration, like maybe I heard right now actually, so on top of making Olympus 1 and 2, I'm making this other project called Mr. J and the Heartbroken Homies, and it's a it's an EDM, it's like dance music, because I was just like, there was something I got super wrapped into the EDM world, and I'm like, oh, this will be interesting to kind of explore for a little bit, and so
super powerful stuff.
So, and when it comes to why I think EDM music is so interesting too is, I think it's the genre of music that's introducing the most interesting new sounds. You know, like hip hop, we all know it's going to be a crazy 808, some kind of big snare, some crazy hi-hats, and some sample from a dope song 20 years ago, you know, like we already know. And then there's people like, and this is why I love people like Kendrick Lamar, who's like really exploring new sounds. But I think for the most part, EDM is at the forefront of developing at least a new sound, you know. And so there's a lot of things that the EDM producers are doing that I'm just, obviously there's just the fucking 4 on the floor fucking, that's it. But there's a lot of really cool rhythmic things people are doing, and these very complex build up. It's just a very interesting thing to be explored. So much like orchestral music I'm finding. Like there's just so much build up and you know, elements coming in and fading out and then coming in again. Like I find it very, I'm trying to do some orchestral EDM stuff too, I got this one track I'm working on right now, and I got this Sri Lankan flute player to come in on the drop. So this drop comes in and this guy just starts going on this flute. So
you know this guy?
No idea who he is.
No. Okay,
no idea who he is. Just kind of found him on like Fiverr or something, you know?
So cool.
So dope. And so every time, you know, when I sit down to do a song, I usually will sit down with some kind of style in mind. Like, you know, like that's kind of, because I'll kind of jump into like a R&B song or like a super heavy auto-tune singing song, or sometimes I just want to rap, you know? And so that will usually be, it'll be like, okay, I kind of want to do some R&B. I want to do something with some piano, and then I might have an idea that I sit down and play, or I might go on fucking YouTube and start scrolling beats by other motherfuckers, you know, and I'll just buy a beat, buy the licensing, because to me, I used to think there was a better way to make, and then I have songs like Sending Positive Vibes, which that song was remade. There's a choir. It was originally me and my homie Andrew. We sat down and we were making this. We just kind of, we wanted to make a song for weed legalization in Canada initially. That's why. And so we were making this song, and the hook is very like smoke weed, you know? But it's like, not exactly. Smoke a spliff to lift you up. No, the world's in your favor now, you know? But it's got the undertone of we're smoking weed. And so we worked on that song, and initially that song was just some piano. And then I was just because it's very almost gospel-y soul, like it's very loose. The rapping isn't on, you know, it's almost like spoken word on top of a gospel beat. And so that one, we got this kind of that was the thing. It's like, I kind of want to sound like we in church, you know? And so we got this structure, and then I wrote just kind of on this loop, I wrote the entire song. And then it's like, okay, then we brought in this dude, Eric Doucette, and he threw in some organs, and we started to, you know, kind of find places that were rising and falling, and then we sent out the files to the trio, who ended up, you know, layering vocals to a point where we could call it a choir.
Yeah, who are they?
Janelle Leaf, Joel Towels. I don't know if I'm saying his name right either, and Suave. I don't know if I said her name right either.
Are they Edmonton folks?
They were all originally from Edmonton. Now two of them are in Toronto, I believe.
McEwen people.
Yeah, all McEwen
nice.
people. All very skilled. All very skilled, doing really cool things. So, and they have some vocals on some other songs on the vinyl too that that I tied it. So it really, when it comes to making a track, someone could send me a beat and I could be like, oh, I really like this, I'm gonna hop into this right now. Or it could be like, sending Positive Vibes took us, I mean, the song was done for a year before it came out. And even before that, I think there was 3 or 4 different the original version of it had this fucking crazy organ piece that just kind of improvised throughout the whole song, and I loved it, but I was like, this is too much of a abstract thing to do. There needs to be some kind of
you want people to put this on at a party or whatever, right? You got to have like some accessibility.
100%. So really, it's really different. So with you, how are you even recording a demo? Are you recording it from your crib? Are you going to the studio?
I just record a piano, and like I've got like a condenser mic. I usually do one mic, and then I send it to my producer guy, and he like mocks everything up on MIDI, like his vision for it, basically.
Cool.
On Logic, and then we I write out the parts usually now. Now I'll write out the parts and send them to people, just because it's a lot quicker.
Wow.
If we have time on a song, then we just like, I don't know, write out a lead sheet and they can kind of do what they want. But recently the way we've been doing it is write out the parts, send it to someone who wants to do it. I mean, and if they like want to do a solo or whatever, they can, that's kind of, but I just work at the piano here a lot. That's kind of like, it's my happy place these days.
Very cool.
We got this nice Yamaha acoustic piano that I'm sitting at right now.
Ooh. Oh, look at that thing, bro. Look at that thing. Oh, that's very cool. So then when you're going to record the final version of the vocals, are you still doing them from home?
No. Usually not. Like, so we pay a guy with an expensive mic to go and do a day in the studio, like do the vocals in the studio, do the drums in the studio. Everything else we can kind of manage. And then mixing and mastering, we got some people now that we trust. Cool. And it's a journey. Hey, I think it's like I often think now, like, what would it be like to do a live off the floor in the studio thing? Would I be able to hack it? It'd be hard. Freaking super hard. But like it'd be an interesting experiment, just because now it's not convoluted. Like it's organic in its own way. Like it change. Everyone's contribution will change the final product, and it's interesting and cool in its own way. And like every song we've done has not lacked energy. Like they're still good. So I don't think it's a worse way of doing it the way we're doing it. But
oh no, and the final project is so good. Just some of the decisions that were made, even on one thing that really, especially the first listen, that I was especially being a vocalist, that's one of the things that I'm listening to the most. Not only the songwriting and the vocal performance, which I think you nail, but also some of the mixing decisions and the production decisions that were done with the vocals. There's little pockets that you guys did, little effects, throughout some of the songs, and I was like, you know what? That's not too much, but it kept the vocals just a little bit more interesting than they would have been without, like, it just wasn't overkill at all. I thought you guys sprinkled that in
Thanks,
so
man.
well, so well.
That's great. That's cool. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's it's taken. I still feel like I'm on a journey with the vocals thing. I'm a bass player, so it's
crazy.
It's always been like I grew up really musical, so hitting notes is not like a hard thing for me, but
flex on them, bro. Flex on them.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah. But it's not in my repertoire to flex very much, eh? My flexes are like I saved a lot of money on beats at the grocery store. That's my flex. Yeah, honestly. I have like I got a good deal on this 10-year-old minivan. That's my flex. I was at school. I was picking up my kids from school, and this friend of mine, he's Nigerian, and he's like, I had just got this minivan. I'm like, oh man, I got a minivan. I had sort of an identity crisis. Like, I'm just driving this. And he goes, yeah. He goes, no matter how many kids I had, I would never buy one of those.
Savage. Oh my God, bro.
Yeah, but no, it's anyway.
Holy shit.
To flex about the vocal thing, I made a lot of progress in the last 4 years. I did opera lessons at the beginning of COVID.
Wow.
I found this elderly Japanese vocal teacher who lives alone, and the rules here were pretty restrictive. And so if you're single, you could see one person. One person was allowed in your bubble.
Oh, okay.
Bubble, right? Yeah. Anyway, so she didn't have any in-person students at the time. So during the whole pandemic, I got to go to her house every week and sing with a piano. It was beautiful.
Wow.
Anyway, I'm not sure how much of that I actually has helped, but certainly, some technique stuff has helped. But it's still a bit of a journey, and I always need a lot of help from my producer guy to be like, relax, dude, just relax. I was listening to have you ever listened to Springsteen's Nebraska?
I don't.
Anyway,
think
whatever.
So.
It's like an acoustic kind of version album that he did.
I did just hear someone talk about how this is a crazy album.
Well, my take on it, at least, was that the thing that I love about it is that you can hear his voice really well because it's just him and guitar. And he does his range is pretty huge. The thing that struck me was just this is probably a hip hop thing too. You can hear it when guys are super, super, super relaxed, and you can hear it in their voice. They're not even trying.
Yeah.
You're just like, I want to be with that, with that music. I want to that's where I want to live. It's like, I want you to be so relaxed. You're just telling me a story.
Yeah.
And I want to listen.
That's
crazy, there's always goals, right? You got to try, or in your case, angry rapping. Holy crap! How did you get there? It's amazing. The shout rap thing. Holy crap! Yeah. Amazing. I don't know how you do it,
because especially when I start, especially where I'm most comfortable is because I learned music through the piano. I know how to play basic piano. If there's ever a crazy piano parts, I got homies that come in and redo things. But I'm the most comfortable doing really chill, calm, slow, piano rap, kind of like the R&B hip hop kind of blend is which usually tends to be well when I do features on acoustic singer songwriter thing. Right. I really vibe in that space. I can come and feel, I don't have to. It's just what I kind of grew up with. And when I was before I was doing just solo stuff, I was in a trio called Imperfection, and I played piano, someone played guitar, and there was two vocalists, and I would rap on, we would do covers, but I would write a rap song every once in a while and throw, but then, it was really To Pimp a Butterfly. That was when I was making my first project, Life, which stands for Living in a False Existence. Everyone was just, oh my God, Kendrick Lamar is the greatest musician of ever. give him all and especially I wasn't in McEwen, but my homies were in McEwen, so I was around McEwen. I was always in the school. For those listening, that's the art school in Edmonton, and and everyone was fucking, oh my god, To Pimp a Butterfly. So and there's some crazy Kendrick Lamar's vocal performance on the entire project is phenomenal. The range where he has some tracks where he's almost crying, you could tell he's just second away from crying every second of the song, and then he has other tracks where he's going in, and even when he's rapping about something happy, he's got this aggressiveness to his tone, and so I came from that background of DMX and Ja Rule, and I really my first project I really got I went with a lot of this hard, raspy, aggressive stuff, and now I got a song called Warrior that's really fucking aggressive, right on point, but then I got songs like Good People that are like this Post Malone, super sing-songy. So it really
it's a good range. It's amazing.
Thank you.
You can do a lot.
Because to me, it's even when it comes to counting and timing and stuff, it's all about feel for me. It's like I understand, especially working with more musicians now, is like, some people are sitting on their guitar going 1 2 3 4 1 2 the whole track. It's like, oh my god, you're just that skilled at guitar that you're just trying to be on time because that this is gonna come. It's like, I gotta be in the track, and I think where I kind of fall off, one of the drawbacks to doing that is there's a lot of imperfections in some of the tracks, in some of the vocal things. Even later on when I've tried to get DJs like, oh, I want to do an EDM version of this or something, they're like, oh, but your vocals are off. Do you want to re-record them so it sounds? And I was like, bro, if you can't, it's like, no, bro, that's the song. That's how, it's like, it's not supposed to be perfect.
Those musicians you're talking about that just like, so the guy who played bass on Are You Down? It's a monster bass line if you listen close. His name's Jeff Johnson, and he taught me bass back in Edmonton. He's an amazing bass player. He lives there. He plays jazz once in a while now too, but he's not a full-time musician anymore. Anyway, he I think is the one who grinds his teeth in rhythm. The point is he's like feeling the pulse with his brain.
Yeah.
And his fingers are just doing, but like he's really focused on just like the pulse is the thing that's kind of driving this. Oh, and so everything will be okay as long as I've never been there. I never get there. I'm always just like you, just in it,
Oh I don't know what it is about it, and to each their own. Whatever gets you to each their own. Yeah. There's great musicians doing it both ways.
That's it. Yeah.
There's something about I was pretty surprised by here. Hold on, let me pull this up. The Are You Down song. That one, because there's something to say about song selection and then order of the song. So you put out this EP, and I think it's, from a consumer fan standpoint, I think it flows amazing. The way you kind of start off with the higher energy tracks, it seems like, especially that Are You Down. So that was the one I was like, oh, this is a track I wasn't expecting from you, but you knock out of the park. I feel like, just how high energy it was. I was like, oh, this is a banger, And so you hear that first track, When You Find Your Heart Is Broken, and wonder, and it still actually has quite a bit of energy, that song, I would say, compared to maybe something like Everlasting Memory, so this I was like, okay, I can see this is so well introduced. So I guess my question is, how did you select these 5 songs? Were they the only 5 songs that you had ready, or did you? And then how do you come into the? Or I know there's a lot of questions, but I'm so curious.
Yeah, they're more or less like, basically, I don't know. There's like, at a certain point, there's like 15 or 20 demos, and you just decide which ones you're gonna work on hard. So how do we divide it up? We basically divided it like, we need a few upbeat songs and a few down tempo songs for each EP.
Oh, sick.
And so that was it. I mean, Are You Down was done first and is the kind of best choice as like it's the most accessible one, probably. Like, it's the most, but yeah, I don't know. Hard to say. Like, the thing is, I grew up with albums, so part of me wants to just do albums, but I also know I don't want songs to get buried. We're putting a lot of work into them, so it's hard to just say like, okay, we're gonna put all of our work into these 10 songs or 12 songs or whatever. We're gonna release them all, and then 3 of them are gonna get traction, or not even traction. They're just gonna get some, but like some of them are gonna get, and like, I don't know, they're all care about all your songs, obviously. So,
of course.
So I don't know, we're just trying to do something that would showcase more better, like showcase kind of like mid-tempo, up-tempo, down-tempo, something like that, on each of the two EPs.
Very cool. Very cool. Because even though it's 5 tracks, it is a range of feelings. Like, like, especially I would like, the Are You Down to Everlasting Memory. I really like Everlasting Memory. I like.
Thanks, man.
I have a, especially playing piano. It's got kind of like this ballad vibe to it.
Yeah.
I think it's so well written. I mean,
thanks.
I remember even the first time I listened to it, in my little home studio, I got pretty dope ass speakers.
I bet.
And so, of the first time listening to a project, I like to, sometimes I'll, like Lil Wayne's album, for instance, I don't need the AirPods will do fine, I'm not missing too much from that project, but this project, it sounds so I was like, I got to sit down, I got to listen to this project. And, that Everlasting Memory song, Matt, like, your vocal performance on it is cool. The lyrics are super cool, and then the instrumentation of it, I think, is just so gorgeous and so like, it provokes so much emotion, at least for me. Like, I was listening to this entire. I mean, I've listened to this project quite a few times now, and with every listen, I'm like, this is top tier. Everything across the board, in my opinion. Like, this song could. Especially when I'm listening to someone's project that I know personally, I'm like, could I hear this and actually it was Questlove who I heard did this, and then I started doing it with things that I listen to, and it's like, what kind of playlists would you put each song, and it's just instead of encompassing something in a genre, it just helps encompass things in real life. It's like, when would I actually be listening to these songs, and the thing that's cool about this project is, you got like kind of that super, like, that April Snow song is like with the flute, and it's kind of like
sunshine.
Yeah, exactly. Like, and then even When You Find Your Heart Is Broken, it's like this like warm hug almost, just because of the sonics of it. It's just like, there's so many things to talk about instrumentally.
Jay, I'm gonna do a podcast with you every week, and you're just gonna pump up, and I'm like, okay, yes, I gotta keep pushing, man. Bro, Jay needs something more. I gotta keep giving it to him.
And that's it, dog. You don't even understand. When I finished the 5th song. When I finished the 5th song on the first listen, I was like, I can't believe it's over. I was like, and I loved the ending too, because I love that song. So to hear the different version of the song too was super cool, because I was such a big fan of the the kind of the original version as well. And so what provoked you to do that? Just to change it up, or?
No, it was mostly like, it's not like, it's not super proud, but like basically, I didn't like the mix that much on the first one.
Oh, interesting.
It didn't seem to pop as much as I wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't love the vocal performance. It's just like a few things, and like, it's not that cool to go back and just redo everything. But it was our first crack at anything. Like my friend Pat and I working together, and we just felt like if it was going to fit in with the rest of the material, and we wanted it to, then we're gonna have to just change it a bit. So we added drums, mm-hmm. and we just added a few things, like we just changed a few things. But I wanted to say, Jay, your last name is French.
Yeah, Paris water. Yeah,
Franco-Albertain.
I don't know any French. No,
you don't know any French?
No, so
you have French ancestry though.
Yes, so.
And your guy Eric Doucet, another French name.
Oh, and he does speak French. Eric Doucet is Quebecois.
Okay. Oh, he's from Quebec.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. So I'll tell you. So the French side of my family doesn't speak to us. So we don't. There's some huge family drama between the French speaking side and So but I am related to this girl named. Oh my God, what's her name? I always forget. She doesn't speak any. She does speak some English, obviously. She's from here. I think her name is Gabrielle Goulet. And she's a francophone country singer. And
no way, cool.
Yeah, so she makes country music, but all in French.
Okay, so I only asked because my grandmother was Franco-Albertain, so she was same. We have. There's like a bunch of Quebecois, and I grew up near St. Albert, where there's like tons of French people.
Oh, word!
Mostly because there's lots of Ukrainians in Edmonton, and that song "Everlasting Memory" is taken from the funeral service of the Ukrainian Catholic Church. That's the line that they repeat over and over again at the funeral is "Everlasting Memory," and it's like kind of mystical as to what it means. But I'm glad that you like that song. The song hasn't really gotten any sort of it's a special song to me, but like it is one of the ones that these songs get buried, and that's fine. But thanks for shouting out on Instagram. Oh, it's a special one.
Oh, dog, and because that's what it feels like to me. It does feel like, I mean, again, I can't talk more highly of the entire project as a whole, but there's just something about that song, maybe because it is heavy, it's like, to me it feels like the heaviest track, and I love those songs the most because they do provoke. I mean, it's nice to have songs you can fucking bump to, and that second track you have that, I think you really knocked that out of the park with that one, but then to have that track, it's just like, oof. This one gets me reflecting and in my feels. So that's cool. That's very cool to hear that's where that comes from too.
Yeah. It comes from, it was a combination. I wrote the melody when I was right before the war had started in Ukraine, but actually I was listening to this Ukrainian talk about, Russia was attacking the border a whole bunch before. Anyway, Not to get too political, but basically he was talking about in Ukraine during the Soviet regime, they weren't allowed to do like Easter. The Ukrainian Catholic Church was liquidated. They were like totally, they were not allowed. It was illegal. So at Easter, they would like family by family sneak over to the priest's house. They would have like their Easter basket hidden. They would like do a little Easter service. Then they would leave. They would eat in secret. Next family would go to the priest's house. Anyways, I was listening to this lecture by this guy about this stuff while I was writing that melody. This guy was talking, and I like sat down at the piano. I was listening to him, like, my goodness, these people have been through the ringer. Anyway, it was like only months after that they got invaded. But yeah, it was that. And then I finished the lyrics dur- during when the residential school stuff, when they like discovered those
Holy.
graves. So
Oh,
it is meant to be the heaviest song. And so
okay.
and so when I play it live, it's always like, we're having a great time. Let's take a break for a moment, and we're gonna have a bad time, and then we'll come back to having a good time. But yeah. I mean, those are feelings you gotta have too, right? Like it's important. So.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I have tracks. I mean, not to the same weight like that, but
No,
it's
Good
like
People is heavy, right?
absolutely. It's about
Dude.
sacrifice. Absolutely. And it's like, and I kind of try to pull on heavy emotions in a lot of my. That's why even nowadays I decided to stop performing less. I say no to more shows now. Because I'm like, man, most of y'all just want another rapper, and that's just not what I do anymore. There was a time where, I would come and I would open for, Tyga, Ace Hood, whoever. And, my job, I understood. It's to get the party started. I'm playing 3-4 songs just to hype up him. I'm just here to waste time so you drink more alcohol at the club. I understand. You're not here to learn about JusJrdn. No one gives a shit. But now, I'm and not that there's anything wrong with that, and every once in a while
it's a job. It's not a well-paying job, but it's a job.
That's exactly it. So now it's like it's I got a couple spots here that I do much smaller shows. I don't advertise for them, and they're 30-45 minute gigs. I just pull up my iPhone and I play the instrumental tracks, and it's really just hey, I got a couple songs that I'm working on. I thought I would try them out, and I sit and I kind of like explain to the audience, and it's smaller crowds and less people, but way more connection. And it's like I'm just trying to my one company, Prime Purpose Movement, better art and healthier people. I just am. Popularity is not as important to me as it once was, and now it's more about. And this is why I really like your music, because it's like I think this is what better music is. Like there's lots of people can make music and it's beautiful. We live in a world now where music is accessible, just like being a photographer is accessible, and and that's beautiful. It makes it so lots of talent can come. However, there's a lot of garbage that gets clogged up along the way, and just like there's nothing wrong with McDonald's, and I've said this a lot. There's the McDonald's of music, and then there's the Michelin star chefs of music, and one is not better than the other, and they all serve a purpose. I like a nice steak, but I also like fries from McDonald's. They serve different purposes.
That's it.
But there's a lot of fast food. Why? Because it's much easier, it's much cheaper, it's simpler to make. It's not necessarily the best music, and especially you being a music therapist, there's something about the art that is thought-provoking and that is well created, that is spent, and it interacts with your body and your mind, even if it's being played in the background. It's the difference between eating vegetables and sucking on a sucker.
No. Dude, I think about this. This is the exact same analogy I use all the time. Like basically, you have to eat, and so and now more people are able to cook for themselves than ever. And thank God they're cooking for themselves instead of going to shitty restaurants. But like I'm talking about in music terms, you can make your own music. It's great. It's amazing. People are able to not just consume, they're able to kind of participate in making. And like, how Jamie Oliver, like all these guys were like, 15 years ago, they were like, you can make good food at home and it will be healthy and it'll be better for you. Ideally, I'm not making Michelin star stuff, but I really want, what I really want is for people to get to have melodies that are good quality to nourish them,
Yes.
like as in, and the other thing too is that people think of music as, and this is like part of the music therapy stuff that I do, right? Like, people assume that music is just like something you put on. Maybe some people have a deeper connection to it, but like it's wallpaper generally.
Of course.
But like evolutionarily, music is war songs, it's lullabies, it's songs for wooing, it's songs for working. It serves all these different purposes. And so bringing back, and like North America is so bad for, like, no one sings together, people don't dance together anymore. So like better art is important. It's not important in this like kind of if you're really interested in it kind of way, but like we need to get people singing again. We need to get people kind of singing songs that are worth singing, basically, is part of it too. So wow. Yeah, I mean, whatever. It's not like trying to change the world, but I think my experiences I think of like a few shows that I've been to where I felt like someone's almost physically kind of nurturing me. Like it feels like I come away from it and I feel like I've been taken care of.
Yes.
That like someone is kind of like, someone has given of themselves to me, and like I'm a better person for it.
Oh, yeah.
It's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing, and it doesn't happen all the time, and it doesn't happen when you're out there trying to get famous. I mean, it might, but it's like a certain kind of person that's going to give that to you. So, yeah, I don't know. It's like we've all got vocations, and like I think you can see that, you know, I can see it in some of your music that it's there, that you're tapping into it, you're reaching people. I mean, the good people song is a great example, and that like you're saving people's lives. Like it's a beautiful thing.
Oh, bro.
And yeah, so you know, like trying to follow that vocation and trying to like respond to that call is like it's a worthwhile thing.
Oh, bro, you said so many really beautiful things there too, you know, and it's like coming from a background in health, you know, it was an interesting thing. I read this book called This Is Your Brain on Music, I think is
Oliver Sacks, right?
Yeah, great book, great read, you know, and it was an interesting read. And then I really dove pretty heavy into just how your body biologically responds to sound, you know, and I really dove deep into that for the longest time, and it's still one of the things that interesting me the most, and that's why EDM is really, you know, because it really does get people to move, you know. If there's one thing,
it's like rowing. Oh, are we there? Oh, one second.
Oh,
no, hold on.
Yeah,
I'm good. Can you still see me?
Yep.
Sorry. Just get my call here. 1 second. I'm not gonna take it. Okay, sorry.
No.
EDM, it's like rowing music. It's like work songs, right?
Yes.
It's like
because that was
like as in like, yeah.
Oh, that was an interesting you said, you know, music is for wooing, for working, that was such an interesting thing you said that I haven't really heard someone break down before, because I think the most written about topic is love songs. I think if that's still, I think that's what I remember reading, which, you know, you listen to the radio, 90% of those songs are love songs, you know?
Yeah, it's like love songs, but then also in your genre, it's like peacocking, right? Like the male with his chest out being like, you know, like,
and it's cool, you know. And that's one thing I always credit hip hop for is teaching me confidence, you know. It really it's like, man, these guys are flaunting all kinds of shit, but a lot of these guys, even when they were broke, they were flaunting bullshit, you know. That didn't matter. These guys are the most confident people in the world, and they got nothing, you know. So it's because I also really wanted to talk to you about your music therapy, because it's so, talk about using art for the betterment of, you know, people and just helping with people. I dated a music therapist for a little while, so I kind of know a little bit about it. I dated her mostly when she was in school, so, you know, I learned more about her kind of education more than anything else. But I guess even before we dive into your to music therapy, I am curious about your whole kind of journey with music. Like, you know, what got you into the career that you're at? What got you into wanting to write, you know? Yeah.
So I started, you know, played piano. I played in as like a lot of people in McEwen. I don't know if it's a lot of people, but there's a lot of people in the music industry that their training ground was church. Because every week, and especially like for us, man, my siblings and I, we went to this church where there's a bunch of professional musicians that played every Sunday. And they were like legit, like the studio players.
Yeah.
And so basically they were just like, this is how you play. This is how you read a chart. This is how you be in a band. This is how you wrap a cable. They were just like, for 6 years, it was like, great. So I played electric bass doing that.
Wow.
And then disenfranchised with that sort of thing. Not with those guys. Those guys were awesome, but with how music worked at church, what the church was like in a lot of ways. So I just went away from it. But I was playing in a rock band. We played at the we played. So Cadence Weapon, that rapper from Emerson?
Yeah.
So my claim to fame is that I was in this indie rock band, and we were friendly with him. And we played this show at a private party in this dilapidated house on Boyle Street. You know Boyle?
Oh yeah, I know Boyle Street.
Yeah.
What?
So this like big haunted house. There was Jello wrestling at this thing. It was big, huge party. Anyway, we played it. He played it. But before the show, like a week before the show, he's like, "Hey, I really want to sing Anthony's song by Billy Joel." You know that song?
I love that song.
Such a good song. So he's like, "Can you guys play that and I'll sing it?" So we're like, "Yeah." So we did it at this show, and he's up there singing Billy Joel. Anyway, it was great.
What a story crazy, that is, bro. What? That took so
on
many
Boyle Street.
Left turns. I was like, what is going on with this story?
Yeah. So
very cool.
So my friend Jenny Roberts, who was in that band, is still in town, and Liam Trimble. I don't know if you know these people, but anyway, it was a fun band. It's called Ill Fit Outfit. So I played in this rock band for 6 years or whatever. Played the Sidetrack Cafe back when it existed in Edmonton. You remember this place? It used to be a caboose. It was like anyway, whatever. Played in rock bands. It's not that I played double bass, and so I backed up a bunch of bands. Went to McEwen for double bass. Backed up a bunch of singers. Toured a bit. And then I did like a solo folk thing for 3 years. And I don't know if it was because I had backed up some really good musicians or what, but a lot of it had a lot of anxiety with it. I knew I kind of wanted to write songs and sing them, but my singing voice was weak. And the whole thing was anxiety ridden for me. I got an Alberta Foundation for the Arts grant and made a record.
Wow.
It was produced by this guy, Leif Follebeck, who's a big Montreal indie guy. But when I had the opportunity, when I found out about music therapy, when I found out about studying it, as soon as I started with the studies, I basically stopped performing, writing, just gave it up. Was like, I'm fine. I get to play music with this job, with this new career. So like, I don't really want to stay up late anymore. get paid peanuts to like show up and load out at 3 a.m, whatever else. So I was just like kind of happy to give up that whole thing.
Yeah.
So I gave it up. I didn't perform at all after 2013.
Wow.
And then so I worked in long-term care as a music therapist with people with dementia.
Oh wow.
And then and I worked in palliative care, so at a like end of life care. So so I did that for 6 years, and then kind of burnt out of that a little bit.
Absolutely. Oh my goodness, bro.
But actually, the reason that my music sounds the way it does is because during that time, playing long-term care, playing palliative care, and I started doing work with kids too. I mean, I'd worked with kids a little bit through that too. Kids with on the spectrum mostly, and then now I work at the Children's Hospital with all kinds of kids. But playing with older people mostly, I'm playing like old songs. So I had to learn. I don't know, 500 old songs. So I learned all the like the old cowboy songs, and then all the old show tunes, you know, Smoke Gets in Your Eyes, and like all the stuff that like jazz standard kind of stuff. But then all the pop stuff, the Elvis and the Beatles and the Anne Murray and the John Denver and the all this kind of stuff. So I was playing exclusively that every day for like 8 years. And like, I think at first I kind of, there's still some songs that I hate playing, but I hate, but like, I don't really turn my nose up at much anymore. Like if someone remembers it, if someone like loves it dearly and, you know, wants to hear it in their final days, you're not like, no, that's not like my style. It's not actually very cool. I don't know if you know this, but that song's not cool. Anne Murray was never cool. You're like, okay, I'm going to dig into this song and I'm going to do the best version of this I can so that their family can sing it with me. So that they can kind of be at peace and get some sort of, so I learned to love some stuff that I never thought I would love.
Wow.
Yeah. So it knocked my edges off for sure. As in like, if I had any angst before, it's kind of gone. I don't know if you noticed that on this record, but there's not a whole lot of angst.
Yeah.
There's no like, yeah. So basically I realized that one aspect of music that I wanted to focus on, I think, or I don't know if I didn't realize this. One aspect that I learned to focus on in music is sort of the soothing aspect of it, that it's like that it's a way for us to more easily get through life, that it's a balm, you know, it's like the cream that has like menthol in it that I put on my back to loosen things up, you know. That's one of the roles it can serve. And it can heal. It can heal. Like as in, I'll tell you the story. I was in a long-term care facility in the locked like dementia unit.
Wow.
And the place, you know, and some of those places are better run than others, but most of them have an aspect of like Alice in Wonderland, sort of topsy-turvy. Like things are just insane. Things are not just crazy, but they're a little scary. They're a little weird. They're kind of gross in lots of ways. Anyway, this guy is there and he's not quite lost it. I'm sorry. Are you hearing the kids? They're going nuts right now.
Oh yeah, but that's okay. It's okay. We can still hear you pretty clear. So it's no worries.
Okay. So all right. So there's this guy that I'm working with, and he's still with it in a lot of ways, but he doesn't really know where he is most of the time.
Oh, okay.
So we're doing the singing group, and I sing, and that day had been insane. There had been like people with big behaviors, like, you know, moving chairs around all the time and kind of, you know, just whatever they're doing. It's like, it's tough. It's tough. Yeah. So I'm singing, What a Wonderful World, the Louis Armstrongs. Okay. So he's singing along with me. We get to the end and there's just silence. And then he goes, so do you think it is? And I go, do I think what is? And he goes, do you think it's a wonderful world or not? And we're like, the room smells like shit. There are people that are, you know, drooling. And I'm like, yeah, I think it is, man. And he goes, I think so too.
Damn. Holy shit. Oh yeah. My God.
Yeah. So like,
that almost makes me want to cry, bro. Oh my God.
It makes me want to cry because it's like,
oh my goodness.
When you're singing about like the angst of, you know, relationship drama or whatever, that stuff needs to get sung about too. But like,
of course,
at a certain point, are we convinced that it's worth making something beautiful, that it's worth sharing something beautiful or not? And like, this guy's like, you and I we both see what's going on around here. Life is hard. There's like lots of suffering. And like what we just did there with this song, that was worth it. It was worth it.
Oh yeah. My God. How? And then, oh man, what a moment that is. And what a moment that is to share, you know? Oh my God.
my 4-year-old has just lost this shit here. Speaking of, he's not convinced it's a wonderful world.
Not yet, anyways. That's wild. Because that must be, I mean, that's as real as as it gets right there, you know?
That's it.
And you must just see it all the time. It's just like the influence music has. You know, my mom has this. She's epileptic, and when she has these, she gets these seizures, and she'll lose her memory for about a week to 2 weeks at a time. And
Dude.
and other than those moments, she's absolutely fine. You know, fully functioning. She was on the podcast a couple weeks ago. Like, you know, like she's always up. She's always getting tattoos is her thing. Fucking, she just got another tattoo like yesterday, 2 days ago, maybe, you know? And like, you know, so she's like, but it's during those times, she might not remember the house we live in or whatever, some of our extended family or things like that, but she'll remember us. I remember one night I was sitting with her, and she kept singing Crocodile Rock by Elton John.
John, yeah.
You know, and so she's singing the hook, and she's like, I can't remember who sings this. And we play the song, and she sings every single word of it, you know, and it's just like the calming effect music can have, and you know, how much it helps with memory, and it's such a powerful tool. And when it's, because again, and we talked about this, you know, there's the fast food of music too, you know, it's just like, I listened to this, I feel good for the 2.5 minutes that it's on, you know, but after this, I'm not getting there's nothing I'm getting from this. But like a moment like that, you know, this song was written so long ago, and then you go and you learn how to record, or you learn how to play it, and then you sing it for this guy, you sing it together, and you have this insane moment because the song is so powerful. And then that song is so powerful, it gives you that powerful moment that you're able to even come and shit, you know. It's just like
it's amazing.
The power,
it's amazing. It's such a gift.
It's
such a gift. And so for those of you, like your listeners there that haven't read this Oliver Sacks book, like I don't know if he talks about this as much, but the basic thing is music activates all the different parts of your brain. So when you're speaking, you're using one part of the brain. When you're moving, you're using another part of the brain. When you're learning language, you're using another part of the brain. Music is using little bits all over the place. And so even if some part of your brain deteriorates or is involved in like traumatic brain injury or whatever, I do that a lot with traumatic brain injury patients at the hospital there. We'll use music because it's like, it still clicks for them, even if they're not speaking, even if they're not. So you can rebuild the brain using music because it's still going in the brain stem. Yeah. It's really cool. I work with people all the time in the long-term care facilities who can't string a sentence together, but they can sing, Amazing Grace or You're My Sunshine. So it's totally powerful. And it definitely brings me back to like, what are we doing this for? Mm-hmm. What's the, it's like connection is huge. And also reminding each other of like the goodness of the world, that like kind of being with each other, being present enough to each other to kind of realize what we're here for, what we're doing. Yes. I like what you said, Jay, about the smaller shows. I'm like so convinced that this is so it's a good thing that more and more people are making music because it's good to have music around, but like I love the performance aspect of these small rooms. We did these house shows.
Yes.
It was just like so cool. You can talk to people. Yep. They can well, at one show we played, no one clapped after a song. And like it's because it was after Everlasting Memory. And they were just like, they were in such close proximity that it would have been weird, I guess.
Yeah.
Like I was kind of taken aback, but they were like, no, we just did something here. Like I'm not clapping for you. Didn't like perform that for me. It was like a thing we were doing, you know? Anyway, so I really like those small performance things. And I'm always looking for ways to sort of make those small things happen. Like playing at a club is fine, but like the staff at clubs are all jaded and like whatever else.
Course. That's there's something to be said. I love a well put together stage show. Like
Oh,
like a
yeah.
Taylor Swift,
Oh,
but
yeah.
it's like this is an event. This isn't even just a concert anymore. This is a bigger than life event. And those are cool, But even I was talking to my brother about this the other day. I prefer as a lover of live music to go to the smaller shows. I love going to if a homie, I would rather a homie go see my homie at a small shitty club than them open up for whoever big name in Rex Hall or whatever. It's like, no, bro. It's like, I want to be here and I want to be one of the 100 people in the crowd where we're actually like a unit here, and that's the one thing that I think there's artists that are really good. And I mean, super controversial that Kanye West is one of them. That's like, factors in the whole. It's like, no, the idea here is still to make this a connection piece. This is a thing to bring everyone together. I am Kanye West, but this is meant for everyone, And while like I don't think you quite get the same thing from like a Taylor Swift or a Beyonce concert where there's all these huge dancers and.
Did you see Kanye?
No, I never did. No. That's one. I actually when last time Kanye was in Edmonton, it was the same night as my cousin's wedding, but dog, my one like 4 or 5 of my cousins went to Kanye and then came after and they're talking about the concert. I was like, man, shut up. I don't even want to hear it right now, bro. Get out of here. But because
they just skipped out on the wedding.
Oh yeah, and showed up for the party after, savages. But I get, so this like I think there's people that are true artists like the Kanye West. He is so beyond musician at this point. He's just an artist. He's a lot of other things too, but he's.
Wait, I'm not like that on the internet, but is he not like just? I know I kind of know what happened more or less though. But did he disappear now? Is he dead? Like we're talking about him like, oh my gosh, if I could have only seen this concert while the person was alive, it would have been so great. But it's too late now.
Because did you hear what he said? Did you hear what he said about Hitler?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So like the last I heard from him was like, I just watched the movie with Jonah Hill, and I remember. Did you see this? He like his last Instagram post that I saw was like a picture of Jump Street, 21 Jump Street, and he's like, I just watched this movie and I really love it, and I take back everything I said.
Yeah, bro.
What?
But the one thing is wild, and is the one thing Kanye is too is hilarious. This man. So, and that's what makes him confusing. Is sometimes he's joking. Sometimes he's just like.
Yeah. Wait, but is he gone?
So yeah, so great. So that was his like last thing. He came up. He was featured on some track a couple of weeks ago. It was kind of like whatever, but. The thing is, I guess he's putting out a full project actually soon with this other artist, fucking Ty Dolla $ign. Do you know who that is?
Oh, no way.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be a complete collab album. So that's supposed to be coming out. And so the other thing that's absolutely crazy with Kanye is because people are, we're talking about him right now, but he hasn't released his own song, like a brand new song of his own in I think just over a year and something. And he's got like 60 million. His Spotify numbers just keep climbing. And it's because it's all of the freaking all the publicity he gets.
Controversy. Yeah.
Also because he has some of the most classic hip hop songs that will be played for forever and ever and ever. It's like he says something crazy and then people are like, oh no, we can't listen to Kanye. And then Graduation comes on and everyone's like, oh yeah, wait, this is the greatest artist of all time,
I found a copy of Graduation, the CD, on my walk to school. I found the CD and I like took it home and like got my Discman out.
No way, like, bro.
I love this album.
It's bangers, dog. It's bangers. So there's definitely something to say about Oh man, I feel like I have so many things to. But I was also, while we've been talking about this whole thing too, was like, if you're game, bro, when you drop your next project too, I'd love to come on and have another chat about that and stuff. If you're game,
Dude, man, let's do it. Let's do it. That's great. We could do a sure. I don't know how it works. I could play it on here. I don't really know. I'm like, yeah, I don't know how any of this stuff works. I feel like so. There's this woman that I love called Emma Frank.
Okay.
And she's got my favorite album this year, maybe. Like, yeah, up there at least.
Okay.
And she does like Nora Jones style, jazz pop kind of stuff. Whatever. Okay. It's not like, it's obviously very like light. You know, it's kind of my zone. But she's on a label, and her stuff performs like just slightly better than mine does. And it's just, I can't believe that an album of such high quality, this album is like, there's some serious players on it. Some of the players on that album play with John Baptiste. Like they're like, you know, they're like, yeah, New York.
Damn.
And then this album has like, you know, her videos have like 100 views or 200 views. And you're like, the market is flooded.
Yeah.
The market is, how did this album get no press? It's so good. Anyway, so the point is, I've sort of like, all right, I'm going to push stuff as hard as I can go. It doesn't seem like there's a right way to do things anymore. Yeah. But anyway, I love the fact that you're doing this podcast and that you got these people that have come to listen to you. Anyway, I'd be happy to share the new one with you when it comes out. We'll do it. We'll do a little sneak preview or something. Oh,
bro, that would be incredible, dog.
That was incoherent. All that to say, like, I don't have a record label that's like keeping me accountable. Once the stuff is done, and if you want to hear it, and you think there are people who want to hear it, then I'll be happy to play it on your rap podcast, Jay.
I'll play
all the light favorites will go on to your.
Let's go. That would be super cool, because then we could talk about it while we're listening to it. Sure. That would be because I mean,
you're gonna lose fans, Jay.
No, you're gonna gain maybe people a couple. Like,
I came here for DMX. Ended up with Bublé.
Damn right. Bublé is one of my favorites, though. I saw, talk about Michael Bublé. I saw Michael Bublé last time he came to Edmonton, and
no, on purpose.
Oh, bro, I am the biggest Michael Bublé fan.
I mean, he's a hustler, but you love him.
When he dropped, I get the same feeling when Kendrick Lamar and Michael Bublé drop albums. I'm like, whoa. I'm dropping everything and I'm listening to this right now. I fucking, he's like my ultimate guilty pleasure, bro.
Oh, I love it.
I love it. I probably have 3 or 4 unopened copies of his Christmas album. Cause if you're, because people will gift me the Michael Bublé Christmas album every year, because I love. And when I saw him live, I think he had a 40 or 50 piece orchestra he was accompanied by. Like, you know, it was just, I was like, people just don't even understand the cost of that. To have that many people even just sit behind you, and oh man, and then he'd break the sit down and he would just do a little jazz trio thing, just bass and drums, and he would sing, and I was like, oh man, this is, you know, it was just so cool. It was just, I mean, cool. Kendrick Lamar is cool. Michael Bublé is cheesy, but it's that good cheese, you know. It's that good.
Yeah.
It's
I think I've grown up a little, because I used to like really turn my nose up, and then the last year my wife is like, she's like appalled that this is the case, but like I listen to the like favorite station all the time now, and like Michael Bublé comes on there, and I'm always like, I have an impulse to turn it off, and then I'm like, no, actually, like, this is fine. This is good. It's really well done. He did a good job. He did a really good job on this.
I love him, bro. I love his music so much. I want
him to buy one of my songs.
Oh, bro. And then do?
Yeah. No, I will. Yeah.
And then this is why I also think I like your style of music, because I feel like it's almost like a better, it's like what Michael Bublé could be if he like paid attention to the, you know, he's not just trying to make hits for the fucking radio to fucking turn out, you know?
If he looked inside a little.
Yeah, like, you know, because I understand this. I mean, he's a pop artist. He just makes the fucking jazzy pop, you know, but he's pop, you know? But it's like yours got, oh man, it's just like some of the, because I'm also a big fan of letting the instruments play too. You know, I got rap songs that got fucking guitar solos in the middle of them, you know, because
I know, that guy's amazing. Whoever's playing guitar on that, so good.
Andrew Menzak, also the guy who, so he, my main producer, he went to McEwen for guitar. So he anytime we can get, I gotta hold back because I always am like, oh, we could put a freaking trombone solo in here, or we could it's like, okay, most people aren't listening to rap for the solos that could, you know, but that's you got a couple like not super long solos, but you got a couple pieces of solos.
That's a McEwen guy too, Stefan Shuchuk. I went to McEwen with him. I played in the jazz trio with him. He still lives in town.
Oh, no way. I gotta get the biggest thing I was like, oh man, I love this. It is the horns and the strings throughout the whole thing. It's so well done. It's Doc,
thanks.
I feel like there's more things that I want to talk to you about, but I do want to I want to have you back for a second one. And now that you're down, that's what we'll do. Because I do want to dive in more into your music therapy stuff, and I think we touched on it good enough that this is a pretty cool overview for most people listening to get a pretty good baseline of who you are, which I think,
Jordan, I can't thank you enough, man. Like I feel like I feel like you're I've been, you know when famous people like kind of take pity on a younger except I'm older, but I feel like I like, thanks for taking me under your wing, Jay. I appreciate it, man. Bringing me into your world. I appreciate it a lot. It's great.
Oh man,
love it.
It's truly my pleasure, bro. I can't even tell you how many people I told about doing this interview specifically. When you said yes, bro, I felt like I was asking out a hot chick. That's what I felt like. I was nervous. I was like, if he says no, he says no. It's gonna be fine. You know, it's not. We're not gonna cry about it. We'll just. And when you
didn't know how needy that hot chick would be. I'm gonna be texting you every day.
But because man, honestly, I can't tell you no. I think you're a dope human, even from the first time that we met, and I am a huge fan of the music. You know, the music that you're making.
Ditto, dude. Ditto.
Oh, thanks, bro. It's like it's the music I like. It's the I mean, I like all music, but it's just like if there's something that makes me, I don't know. It's just like, this is the zone. This is where I like to live in. It's this, you know, it's this kind of soundscape that you created. And I know I'm going to be, listening to this project until the next one comes out, bro. I can't wait till it drops. I'm super excited for it. And we'll stay in contact, and whenever your game, bro, we'll set it up. I do these every week. And so it's like, I'm always game, bro.
And I got a spare room here in Ottawa and I'm a good cook, so like, you come here and I'll feed you and stuff. Okay, bro.
Because especially I gotta come see these live shows, bro. I gotta come see one. If it's a small one, big one day, I'm coming through. Because I just wanted to. Even when I was listening to the project this morning, I was like, I just want to see this at least one time live. I just want to see these songs. Because that's the interesting thing about being an artist, you know. It's like your product is something that's not tangible, you know. It's like, that's why I like to do the vinyl or the CD, because it's like, okay, for the last 4 years, this is a physical representation of what I made. What I made doesn't even really exist, you know, and there's a magic to that. And so to come see a live performance, I think would just be fucking super dope for me, you know.
Let's do it. Or I'll come to Edmonton and play.
Damn right, bro.
I want to hear you. I want to see you play there,
bro. That's it, bro. And that's, bro, because that was the thing. Even before the last few shows I was doing, oh, bro, I could bring it back. I started this music festival. One of them failed. The most astonishing show failed, but the first one did really good, and it was called the most beautiful show. And the whole idea was it was like a stripped down night. So even my set, all I did was play with my guitar player Andrew, and I performed all. And then there was like an R&B singer, and then there was an instrumental group. And why I called it the most beautiful show is not only was it like a chill and laid back show, but it was different genres. Like I had like a acoustic, cool, alt.
Love it.
Because I'm like, man, this is also a special thing. People want to go but I'm here for the art, you know? The genre doesn't really matter to me. I don't really give a shit about any of that stuff. It's like, is it good art or is it not good art? Let's put all the good art together.
I love that.
You know? So it's like, bro, if you ever coming through, let me know, because maybe I'll have to make the most astonishing show too, bro. Or the most beautiful show. So the last thing I usually ask everybody before we wrap up, is there anything that you want to tell the people listening?
Ooh. Is there anything I want to tell them? Is there anything that I want to tell? Well, you should have prepped me for this. Okay, is there anything that I want to tell? Yeah, I mean, I guess like, I think,
this is one of my favorite
God
parts.
God made the world and it's good and he loves you.
Ooh, God made the world and it's good and he loves you. That's, you know,
I don't know. I know, Jay, you're not like the most religious guy, but you know, if I had to say one thing to everyone, I would say that probably.
That's a beautiful thing to say, bro. See, and this is why it's funny, because everyone always tells me I should tell them before. But it's just like, it's one of those things where I think in the spur of the moment, there's always something that will come up, you know? It's just like, I mean, a couple people are like, I don't know. I've said too many things in this podcast. I have no idea.
No. I always think about this, Jay. Actually, I always think about it. Every time I see graffiti, like on a major like thoroughfare, I'm like, okay, they just wrote something that doesn't make any sense at all. But if I was gonna write something on a billboard, what would it be? I don't know. Yeah, I don't have something. If you think like maybe like say a prayer, like it's gonna be okay.
Oof.
I don't know, you know, something.
Now you know. Now you know for the second. Now you know for the second podcast, bro.
There you go. I'll come up with something really good. I'll have it tattooed on my face by then.
Oh, that's how we get all the views, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
And I'll add the links and stuff to the description for your Instagram and your Spotify. But just tell the people for the people that are just listening, where's the best place they can find you?
Yeah. So if you want to see if you want to listen to the music and see the videos for that EP, you can check it out on Bandcamp. It's LandonARColeman.bandcamp.com. But otherwise, Spotify is fine. My name is Landon A.R. Coleman. Landon, like Michael Landon from Little House on the Prairie, the actor, you know, Michael Landon. Landon, Landon.
That's who you pick. That's your reference person that you pick.
I told you I know how to flex. Landon A.R. Coleman is my name. Yeah. Coleman, like Gary Coleman, like the little guy.
Bro, this has been quite the entertaining podcast, because the references that you're pulling is just I just don't know, bro. This was super awesome. Again, I know I've said this during the entire podcast. I couldn't be more of a fan. I love the music. I can't wait for the new stuff to drop.
Thanks, dude.
I think this has been a really dope interview. It's just, even for myself personally, it was dope to catch up with you, bro.
You bet.
And you know, next time maybe we'll talk about your kids and stuff a little bit more. And this, see, that's what I'm saying, bro. You saying that you got a lot going on. We didn't even touch everything this time, bro. There's so much to talk about.
A good lesson for us. Everyone is a normal guy, and everyone's pretty interesting. There you go.
That's a damn, bro.
There you go.
Way to tie this all together. Is there anything else you want to say to the people, bro?
No, thanks. No, keep listening, people. We got a good thing going here. Moment with Jay. Thanks a lot, man.
Hey, no problem. This has been A Moment with Jay.
I hope you know, with every darker night, there's a brighter day. Through the chaos, we'll be okay. Sending nothing but positive vibes your way. Love for always, Jay.